Hello everyone. Today I'm going to talk about Maximo workforce management and how you can create some basic data in Maximo to support work management like your calendar, your labor, craft, qualifications. These all are core data which are responsible for your work management processes. So let's get started. So let me go to first calendar application. The very first thing what you should be doing is to make sure that calendar and shifts are defined. So under administration, you have calendar application, and also there are some applications under resources section here. So once you define your calendar, then you can come to either labor, or you can create some supporting records like crafts and qualifications first, and then associate those records to the labor record. So let me go to calendar record first. So there are some uh, calendar records already defined here. So I will open one of the record. So the very first thing you do is you create calendar record right from this. You can click on this new calendar icon, and you can fill in the details which I am showing here. And once you define that, initially there won't be any work period records on calendar record, but once you provide these basic details and define your shifts, so once you click on your define shifts, you have option to create your shifts, and for that shifts what would be the working hour, the start time and end time, you can provide that. So for example, right now I have selected comp 1, but if I select this specific shift, you can see that the timing is changed, and similarly for the evening shift, there will be some different timing. So similarly, you can create those different types of shifts based on your business use case. And after selecting, you can define the pattern of that specific shift that is going to be. So once you define that, you normally you select that specific shift, and then here under action you have option to apply shift. So So you apply shift on the calendar. Once you apply that, behind the scene on the background, system creates work period records. So you can see once I click here, you can see there are 11,531 work period records which have been generated by the system based on start date and date and the shift tied to this specific calendar. And also there are some other things. Let's say if you want to define your holidays or non-working time, you can define so by just clicking on this specific action bar, and you can define your own holiday calendar. So once you define your calendar, let me go to the labor record. So under administration, you have resources and you have labor record. And let me open one of the labor records. So here Wilson is quite well known technician for Maximo demo data, and that specific field worker or technician can have the person record tied to it. So here when you create any specific labor record, you will have option to select your person, and once you select your person, you can make that specific record active. But before you select a specific person record, you also need to make sure that that person is having proper calendar and shifts tied to person record. So here you can see day calendar, which just now I showed, and the shift is also for that specific calendar. We have day shift, so there can be many shifts for one specific calendar. So I have selected here day shift, and once you apply that calendar and shift, you can then assign create labor record and assign that specific person to that labor, who is going to be labor. So you can select your person record here, and and those information you can see here at the bottom as well. Here calendar and shift is showing, so those details are showing up at the bottom here. Now I will move to craft section. So crafts tab mainly talks about the key skill set of that a specific labor has. So the this is electrician, but one there can be scenarios where one labor, a specific labor can have multiple skills. So he can be electrician, he can also be mechanic or a plumber or any other skill set a person can have. So those all crafts you can define here, and for each crafts you can also define rate. So for example, if I expand this one out, so you can see here that this specific craft is first class electrician, and the rate is defined as $22. And for each craft I have also overtime. I can define the overtime rate for that specific craft. So here you can see premium pay for electrician. So once I select, uh, you will have a separate section where you can define some more premium. You can define the premium pay for that specific craft, and you can see those just by going into the craft record as well. So if I go here and go to craft, so you can see that this is a specific skill I have, and there is a premium pay here which I have defined. Also, you have option to define qualifications. So a craft can have a specific labor can have qualifications also to prove his or her skill set. So for example, Wilson is an electrician, but he also wants to show that he has got some certifications to prove that. So he can include those qualification and certification details into the qualification section. And again, that qualification either you can create from this section, or you can directly go to qualification application and create that. So here, if you see here, I can I can see that this is a certification number. Wilson has got calibration technician certification, and that certification is valid from this specific date to this specific date, and when that was issued, and some other details. So once you provide these qualifications details, you can again make that labor record active, and then the calendar which you created earlier, that calendar also can be associated to your locations, assets, and some other related records where you feel that there should be a time based um, availability of a specific resource. So there you can tie your calendar and shift. So these are the basic core data which you create. You define calendar, shift, then you define labor, and under labor you define crafts, qualifications, and then you make sure that this specific labor is active to be further assigned to a specific work order which you would be creating in Maximo. And these all data which you are creating also finally would be synchronized to your Maximo scheduler, which helps you to schedule your labors and work orders in a timely fashion. So that's all about workforce management in Maximo. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will be happy to discuss with you. Thank you.